Today we're talking the American Cancer Society's Strides Against Breast Cancer walk that we went to today in honor of my Aunt Eileen.
Stay tuned to find out. Hello and welcome to Couple Chat.
Where we
Parents.
discuss topics for you.
Parents. I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie. Let's chat.
How was it today being in Point Pleasant with thousands of people, but specifically your dance school, your children's dance school, your cousin's dance school, representing your Aunt Eileen for breast cancer awareness as we walk through, Point Pleasant. How was all that?
I think it definitely felt surreal for me and for her. I think it just was like kind of a whirlwind because we all just were like, yeah, this is just an everyday thing. We're just going to go and do this thing. It's not a big deal. And then once you're there and like all the stuff's going down, you're like, whoa, this is like bigger than life, which is cool. And we have these really cool shirts that the dance school made. And they say, in my Fight for a Cure era, which, Swifties will understand. It's a Eras Tour reference.
Shaking my head right here.
But on the right sleeve, it also says, walking in honor of Eileen Mers 2024. So, yeah, it was just... Every year they do the breast cancer walk, so they try to find someone to be on their shirt. They always try to honor someone.
You're talking about
from the dance school.
Yeah, First Class.
With our group, yeah. And
First Class Dance Academy is who made these shirts and donated their portion in honor of your aunt.
Yeah, they had a goal of $1,000 and they blew it out of the water. I don't know the final number, but it was over $3,600 just by them spreading the word and getting it out there and asking for donations to help fight for the cure. So it's definitely something that is crazy cool because it's such this like large community that kind of comes together and even just in the dance school because like. There were, 100 people there just for the dance school?
Right.
If you think about it, like all the parents, all the kids, and then our family, the people who could make the walk, we showed and we were able to represent. So it was really cool. I think it was definitely eye-opening because, you hear like cancer hits everyone and like one in however many people, blah, blah, blah. But like we've been hit a few times by the same kind or a similar kind of breast cancer.
Unfortunately, it runs in your family and women in your family really need to be careful because, it's a scary thing that like if it's not checked, it's hard to come back from.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like, she was trying to like tell the dance school owner, a little bit of her story. And I heard her telling her, her sister passed away about 3 years ago from breast cancer and they did everything they could, but she had stage 4. It just wasn't possible to catch it as early as it could have been or should have been. And she said, like, right away, I had to go to the hospital. I had to go to my doctor. I had to get the test because, like, I can't delay. And they found something, but she went through all this treatment, and she's doing so good now. She's a rock star. And she's in high spirits, too. Like, that's the coolest part. Like, she's just one of those inspiring people that you like want to fight for, want to support, want to walk with. And no, she was really good. She had warrior earrings made. Those are cool.
I took a picture, actually. Snuck a picture of them.
Yeah. They were cool.
I'll do a post, or we'll do a post. It's always me. I'll do a post later this, probably. If we're shooting this on Sunday, so the post would go up before this episode. So you guys would have seen the earrings already, probably.
Yeah. Especially if you follow us. But she's just a cool warrior, and to follow her into battle is inspiring, and makes me want to get checked and
need. It's not
I
need,
had the
lady.
prescription, like I had the paperwork, and then currently do not have insurance to go through with the test, so I have to kind of hold off, but I will as soon as I get insurance next. I will make that appointment because I can't. Seeing all that scared the living daylights out of me. My sister did the same thing. She was like, "You told me you got the test," and I went 2 days later and got my test, and she's negative. Thank God. And it's important, My sister's doctor said your mom needs to be tested. Your sisters, but especially the daughters of the woman who previously passed, who was my other aunt. Like, they all need to be tested. They all need to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
And
now your cousin, too.
Yeah.
For sure, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, like, all my cousins need to be looking out for it. So
it's just mind-blowing because right now, and, knock on wood, your mom's gone unscathed.
Yeah.
She is the only one, too, which is, very thankful. But, my goodness, man. I hope that she continuously is getting checked because, that's scary. All of her siblings, her mom, it's very scary.
And my other aunt, so I have three aunts on my mother's side.
You have 3 female aunts.
Shut your dang mouth. My mom has 3 sisters and a brother. All 3 sisters have had a form of cancer.
Aunt, or is he a male uncle?
He's a maluncle. Anyway.
Where are those crickets? Are those crickets back?
You can add them in now. But all 3 of my aunts have had some form of cancer.
Right.
So I agree with you that it's very crazy how it runs in the family, and their mother had cancer. So like this thing is crazy.
Yeah.
And my dad brought it up. Like, after all this money they can raise and all this time they spent on research and all this, like, why is it that they haven't cured cancer? And it's like, we won't ever really know. We can speculate and guess, and
somebody knows.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope
Watch Generation Hack.
I just hope that someday it can be something that can be completely like wiped out.
Unfortunately, like
polio
I don't mean to be the pessimist, but cancer is just so different and it's ever changing, and it's so hard to say that like, oh yeah, we can cure it, because it's just like there's new forms every day, and like it's just genetic.
Yeah.
And it's it's this weird thing where it's like lines of people, it just hits lines of people. Yeah. And if, we keep breeding, and it's unfortunately just going to keep coming back,
But we're hoping that, I don't know. I feel like by breeding with others, you feel like hopefully it'll start to go away.
No, but that's not how it works. It just keeps coming back.
I know.
And it supposedly skips generations, but it doesn't seem that way, just judging by your experience and your family.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. So to kind of give you a little bit of a background, my grandmother, my mother aunt and other aunt's mother, was adopted by her family.
Right.
So her aunt and uncle took her in, and because her parents died when she was very young, and there is no family history. So for those of you who go for these kinds of screenings or have that kind of history, they ask you an extensive history for both sides.
Yeah.
Because they need to know if or where or when these markers were from to kind of like narrow it down for you with this test.
Oh, okay.
And Eileen was saying, I don't know. I don't know what's on my mother's side.
Right.
Her parents died when she was young. I don't know those stories. My mother died when she was 55. Like it's not something that they talked about. It's not something that they needed to know at the time.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like it's so super important to kind of talk about your health and your medical history with your kids. But when? When's the right time? Like, how do you make sure that they're prepared if anything were to happen to you to know about their future and what they would need to know for these sorts of things and testing and stuff? I mean, I've had things happen to me medically that it's like, well, do you have a history of it? And it's like, I don't really know. I only know like brief little things like, I think they mentioned this once, or maybe we have this. I don't really know because it's not talked about.
Right.
People keep everything very close to the, what's that saying that you like to say?
Close to the chest?
No, like just like under wraps, I guess. They just don't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
They keep it under the rug.
Yeah. Unfortunately, especially older generations, it isn't common for them to be so open and outspoken. And, it's no surprise that obviously the younger generations, millennials and younger, we like to wear our emotions on our sleeves.
Well, that and like we kind of want to know. Like,
we want to know everything.
Our family history, our ancestry.
Yeah.
I mean, ancestry.com works because our curiosity, we want to know our legacy.
There's many reasons too.
Past, yeah.
It's just so funny because that's like a thing now, right? Mm-hmm. But back in the day, it was like your sigil and your name and lineage. Like you'd want to have a son so that they could carry the name on and wed like another family that was worthy of wedding, and then their sigil would be created. It's like it's not like that anymore.
Yeah,
and that's why I've always been attached to the Hahn name, because it's like I don't necessarily. I could probably do ancestry and figure everything out.
Yeah,
because our past is pretty there, but then again. Oh no, well yeah, Hahn at least. Yeah. See, it's harder when you start like you always following the male line is always easier than following a female line because you carry the name on.
Right.
So you can continue down that line usually.
Yeah.
Unless there is adoption or and I bet you that happened a lot more back in history.
Yeah.
But anyway, you follow the name, so like for Hahn, like I told you, we went to the Renaissance Fair and we have the family crest, and it tells you all the famous Hahns on there, and you could follow the lineage down to like whoever was like not the first Hahn, but
or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, so I'm sure you could probably do the same for Mulvaney, and that would probably be easier to figure out than Ruddy, because but then I guess,
Murphy too, because like my grandmother was Murphy,
but she wasn't.
But she was adopted into Murphy also. So it's just
there's got to be some paperwork anyway
somewhere.
for her parents
somewhere,
even though they passed when she was young, because I mean they were still of an age where like there were social security numbers and things of that nature.
Yeah, that didn't start until later. Yeah, Social Security numbers weren't a thing until like the 70s and 80s.
Really? Mm-hmm. Now I sound dumb.
No, you're fine.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, this this was just a very interesting experience. I've personally never done like a cancer walk or anything like that before. And, you know, it's different in the sense where like, I'm expecting all these vendors and stuff there to be like selling you something.
Yeah.
But mostly they were just like giving stuff away. Like Stop and Shop was there and was giving out fruit. There were people on corners giving out waters. And like, I just wasn't expecting that. I was ready to be like, oh, Stop Shop probably wants like $1 a banana or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not used to going to stuff like this, like events and things like this, where these vendors aren't looking for some sort of handout for what they are providing you. You know, we were just at the Oktoberfest in Windward Park, and you know, not getting anything for free there. I mean, the event itself is technically free, and you know, the bounce house and the things for the kids, but you know, it's not like you're gonna get free food or drinks or anything like that. And it's very expensive. So it was just interesting. Like, it wasn't like they were giving out crazy things, but you know, they were providing sustenance and water, and that was great. Like, you know, it was nice to just see, you know, big brands representing themselves and not asking for anything except to just give today. Yeah. And that was nice, because it's just not usually like that.
Yeah. It was pretty cool too, because they did set up a really long like trail. Yeah. It was about a 5K, because I think it was like 3.25 miles. So it was about a 5K. Yeah. Okay. But I don't know. It was just, there were thousands of people there. It was just, I'd probably look on Facebook tomorrow and like so many people I know were probably there, and I wouldn't have even known. Yeah. It's funny too, because like you're walking past people and then you see them and you're like, oh, I know you. Right. You know, I'm not even here with like a group that I would think you would even know, but you're here too. Cool. Yeah. But I think that's the kind of thing. It's not about who you are. It's about what it represents. Yeah. And I think it's a really great organization. I think what they do to like raise money and awareness is great. I was talking to your uncle while we were walking, because, you know, him and I are just way faster than a lot of you. Yeah. And I was asking him, you know, I was like, why do they decide that a walk is like the reason why we do these things? You know, like, why is it a walk to represent cancer? Why is it a walk to like do a lot of stuff, you know, like a lot of disease and things of that nature? Right. And you know what he said to me was, it's just to give awareness and bring a bunch of people together that you wouldn't expect to be together. So kind of like you were saying, but you know, it gets people thinking, you know, there's thousands of people, but also the way I took that too is you're shutting down a whole town to do this walk. And like people who didn't realize their town was even being shut down. Yeah. It makes them think, even if they weren't that day, but it's like, oh, why is my town shut down? Like, it's Sunday and I want to go walk on the boardwalk, or, oh, I'm walking on the boardwalk and oh my God. Thousands of people are walking toward me in pink. Yeah. So, you know, and that's the thing. So I guess it's that communal thing, you know, it's to show like, hey, we're all trying as a society to make things better. Yeah. And we're doing that by, you know, representing together, you know, it's interesting. And it's also, you know, it has a little fun factor to it. You're taking something that is so hard and emotional and has so many ups and downs. And you're trying to make light of it and show like these people are overcoming it. But even to help those who aren't overcoming it or who are in the thick of it right now, like that's inspirational too. Because like, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people just, you know,
in hospital beds and in chemo and whatever they're doing right now in their process. And when they see stuff like this happening, because social media is so easy to access this kind of stuff now. Yeah, that's inspiring, and that's very helpful and gives them confidence to keep moving forward. Because it's also a very, I've heard it's a very mental thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you yourself need to be in it if you're gonna beat it.
Yeah.
And if you're not, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get through it.
Very much.
Some people don't, and I think
It's
that's
also
part
about
of it,
the people who survive after, like the people around that person.
Yeah.
Because like for Nicole, for my cousins who lost their mom, like it's for them too. It's for it's for those who survived.
Sure. Yeah, I mean
after.
your aunt wrote this beautiful thing. They had like a hope sign at the end, and she wrote this beautiful thing about her sister and her mom, and it was moving, and it's I'm curious, like it's got to be hard not to have a little survivor's guilt in a situation like this.
Yeah.
But especially like, being the youngest and whatever, but like at the same time, she's such a happy person. And, we were all devastated when she told us. And at the same time, like, I knew, I was like, she's just so strong and such an awesome person. Like, I know she's going to get through this,
Yeah.
She's got way too much life ahead of her.
Oh yeah.
And
she's always been in good spirits, and she's always just like pushing through it. She feels guilty, but she's so strong and she's so powerful. Like
like I said,
she powered
just
through
ups and downs with this whole thing.
Yeah.
One day you could feel that way, and the next day you could feel like, it's fine. I got this. We just
fist bumped and explosion out of it. For those of you who are not watching, as tears roll down my face.
Yeah, it's hard not to be emotional during this stuff.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah, it was a great day, and we love you.
We love you very much.
Awesome job.
Yes.
Congratulations again. And if you guys want to learn more about the American Cancer Society and this breast cancer walk for next year, this was the 30th annual, so they do it every year. And if you want to find another walk within your town or your area, by all means, look this stuff up. You could probably go to the American Cancer Society's website. There's other foundations, obviously, that are trying to help with different cancers. And then, get yourselves checked.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
There's all types of cancers, This doesn't just, isn't about just boobies.
Right? No.
Like, men should be checked, women.
I mean, men can get breast cancer too.
There you go. Yeah, I guess.
Because, pectorals, it's just going to happen in the pectoral region. It doesn't have anything
boobies.
to do with your gender.
Yeah. So yeah, don't wait, because that's the biggest killer of this thing. You wait, you don't like the doctor, you don't want to go, and then boom, all of a sudden you're too sick and you have to go, and then it's too late. So don't do that.
Or you are taking care of everyone but yourself.
Yeah. Always,
and you don't.
Always think about yourself, because in the end, if you're taking care of all those people and then they lose you, then they're not taken care of anymore. So even if you don't think of yourself and you see yourself and you're like, oh, I'm selfless. I have so many other people to think about. Well, then think of it in a selfless way. This is a selfless act to keep yourself alive so that everyone can benefit from your existence, because there are beautiful people out there and they don't deserve to be going through this. So, but anyway, before we continue down the path of making Jackie super duper emotional.
Already done.
Yeah. We have lots of stuff going on. We wanted to really dedicate this episode to this and honor her aunt. So we didn't want to talk about any other stuff, but we had a lot of big things happen this week, and we will get to them. Something very big, especially happened to me and my filmmaking career, possibly. So we will talk about that. But this just trumped all. So we will see you soon.
Yes, we shall.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jackie.
Here are the Hahns signing out.
Thank you so much for listening to Couple Chat. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube Music. You could even subscribe to our YouTube channel where you could see this episode in video. Thank you to Hahn Films for editing and producing this episode. Let's chat soon.